Wow. No, forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Now I gotta close the doors. You can't do a podcast when you got friggin' dogs outside. That's for sure. Let's go see what they're looking at. Because, oh, beautiful dog. Oh, oh. All right. Oh yeah. You guys excited to hear about this one, huh? This happened two and a half years ago. 2.5 years ago. You guys no, it was more like 3.5 years ago. If you guys remember, and if you did this, you were just like me, a degenerate. I moved to Mexico City. I had a beautiful service dog that was out here, and I lived in a nice golf course and country club and all that shit. And I had a service dog. It was a Boston Terrier, and it had puppies and died. And I had one puppy left. And I kept that puppy. All the puppies died. She died. It devastated me. So I moved to Mexico City from where I was before. And so I was there, and I was doing classes and learning how to do ropes and stuff like that, just learning. And a beautiful apartment and in a nice area in La Condesa in Mexico City, by two beautiful parks. Mexico City has Parque Mexico and Parque España, and they're both megalithic and ancient. So if you go to Mexico City, you're going to look around. And if you guys are into the Tartarian theories and stuff like that, you're going to see all the ancient megalithic buildings that are here in Mexico that were abandoned for over 100 years, possibly more, 150 years. So anyway, what happened was we had the coronavirus, and during that time there was lockdowns. And what does a player do if you can't get out and do your rotation and all that stuff because you're stuck at home? Well, I did what most horn dogs would do, and I shacked up, coronavirus shack up. That's what I did. I did a whole year or so with a coronavirus shack up. And I did it because at the time, this is before I had like this major like breakthrough. And I know some of you guys really love to have breakthroughs because if you observe your own behavior and you realize I might be doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong, I'm not clean, I don't dress nice, my hair's fucked up, I don't brush my teeth, whatever, makeup, whatever vice you can imagine. And what was I talking about? Okay, so I shacked up with this hoochie for a whole year. I was still very, very, very degenerate at the time. It was like 3 years ago. When was the coronavirus? Well, whenever that shit kicked off, jiu-jitsu stopped, the gym stopped, and I shacked up with this girl. In the meantime, I bought it wasn't a new Mercedes, but it was a 550, and it's badass, exactly the one that's in the picture there. And this chick accused me of cheating on her because I didn't answer my phone. She was a neurotic. She was a hoe. Okay, I shacked up with a 304. And interesting backstory because she told me that her ex-boyfriend was like a fake cop or part of security, and he ended up stealing and robbing like the president of the municipality's house. And it's a guy that actually worked for the president. Now, just so you guys know, a president is like the mayor. President, they call him the president, but it's like a mayor. And so the president hired this guy, and this was his girlfriend at the time. And so this girl went along with this guy's thievery. I didn't pay any attention to it, and at the end, he ended up stealing from her, or vice versa. I don't remember. And so when I say that this girl had intentions way, way, way early on, I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. Because if you think about it, if the reverse was true, and your chick goes to another town and doesn't answer the phone, that bitch is cheating, right? That bitch is cheating. Well, she left me for another woman, but not until she fucked my lawyer, which, by the way, How does that work when you get a lawyer to do something for you and you're going against her? How's that work? Fucking lawyer banged my ex-girlfriend or whatever. She said, I will fuck you if you make his life miserable and make it hard for him to get his foundation started. I mean, that is the most fucked up shit in the world because it doesn't benefit her at all to fuck up our foundation. You know what I mean? It's a charity for kids. It's a charity for veterans. So why would you interfere with that? Why? Because she was traumatized by the guy before me. That guy's a womanizer and all this shit. So she took all that trauma from the last guy and then placed all that hatred and blame on me. And then when I realized what I was dealing with, I realized she tried to provoke me. She tried to provoke and provoke and provoke me to hit her. You know what I'm saying? I never met anybody like that in my life where they literally were so fucked up toxic from the last guy that she would say stuff to me that would provoke anybody. Or if she got mad, she didn't explode. She just got quiet and walked way the fuck away from me. But that was it. The resting bitch face from that point on forward. But yeah, she ended up. This is what she said. She said she went to see her cousin or uncle up there in wherever the hell that was. And I see another chick in it was a blonde chick. It was an American girl. So anyway, this chick stole my Mercedes and did it ever so cleverly. But she also managed to steal a title to my land. So anyway, long story short, she ripped off my cabin that I had in Puebla. She stole the title to the land that I bought, and then stole my car and disappeared and went to the States. She sold my property back to the guy I bought it from, and then sold my Mercedes. Stole my Mercedes. But here's the thing: that shit doesn't matter to me. And I realize it's not, you guys think a lot about money and you concern yourself about money. And if you were a rich guy, you probably wouldn't care about money, or you would go overboard and say, no, I definitely. So now, since then, we successfully sued her, and she's now in the United States, so by the way, and still does not have a permanent residence, Mexican citizen, by the way. Now, I'm not in the business of fucking with people. All right. But this person did something that was deviant because I had a truck, and it was an antique truck, and we hired a mechanic and a painter to fix it. And he took the truck, disassembled it, and abandoned it like 20 miles from my house. So this chick saw what this guy did and thought, I could probably do the same shit. And so, because you know what I mean, you want to trust people, especially when it comes to stuff that you need done. But here in Mexico, people waste your fucking time. They want your money, they want your money, they want your money. And once they get it, they fuck you. So there's all these things that you have to take in consideration if you consider moving here. You got to be 50 moves ahead, and you need to have your head on a swivel. Fortunately for me, this whole entire street, I have the cameras and obviously control of all the cameras in the entire neighborhood. The neighborhood has shared their links to their security cameras. And so I put it behind a firewall so that nobody gets hacked, but I have the ability to see and hear everything here. And the reason is because people are going to lie to you. But if you can monitor people that you think are untrustworthy, use this technique because it's legal for one. You're allowed to have video cameras and security cameras outside your house in Mexico. And if people are having a conversation outside talking about how can we rob a house that has dogs in it, you know, I'm hearing these conversations because the police aren't going to do anything here in Mexico. If you have somebody rob your shit, you need to have enough money to A, pay the police, and B, pay the courts. And I'm not talking about fees or anything like that. I'm talking about extortion. But that's how corruption works down here. You see, you can go and stand in line and you'll wait for 2 or 3 or 4 fucking hours before you see an attorney who's going to turn around and talk to your lawyer and say, hey, they need to pay me $4,000 to do my fucking job. So as you can see, I had to look at it for what it really was. When shit happens, you got to say, good, time to regroup. Good. You don't got to deal with that shit no more. Good. And what I did was, and this was the most amazing thing. I don't know if you read the description or not, but I was so fucked with that girl that I said, this is great too, by the way, but losing a Mercedes, which was only about, it was 2009. So it's not like it was like a big baller ass car. It was like brand new Mercedes or anything, but it was paid off and it was mine. You know, big ass V8, but it had leaks. It had leaks. It had 3 oil leaks. It had maintenance that hadn't been done on it. Now, this car was nice, amazing white Mercedes. And it was a German version because when I turned the damn thing on, the GPS was already in German. So I imported it from Germany. And it hauled ass. But at the end of that relationship, here's what I said. Because she was I couldn't do anything. I mean, I was a prisoner in my own fucking house because of this lady. I kept telling her to get the fuck out. She kept threatening to call the cops. And I'm like, fuck am I gonna do with this lady? So when she decided she was gonna take my shit, and by the way, all this stuff compounded. It was an evident message that said you need to get out of here and go somewhere else. So what I did was I left from Mexico City, which is like New York City of all of Latin America, and moved to the woods in Puebla. So while I was in the woods in Puebla, I was going through therapy because of all this. Okay, and I do lots of holistic therapy, and I do meditation every day. I'm doing the Wim Hof breathing techniques just to feel fucking better. So while I was there, I got to think. I was so pissed off, by the way. I was so pissed off. I was like, this girl's dumb. Why would you steal a guy's car when you're trying to get U.S. citizenship? Why would you? And her excuse was that she thought I had cheated on her. Like the very beginning of the fucking relationship. That's so crazy, right? She wants to be a hoe, but me be faithful to her. So when she ran off to the States, my little fingers did the walking and found her brother because her brother came to visit when we were living together, and he was a professor at the University of Utah, one of the universities. Actually, pretty prestigious job. He had some administrative job or some shit, and he was teaching. And so, well, there's 2 ways that this can go. Your sister's going to go to jail regardless, but I need my money back. Okay. And she stole it from me, and I can do one of 2 things. Now, what they do here in Mexico that really works is shame. Bullying and shame are 2 big things, but shame is the way that people respond. As same as like the court of public opinion, same as here in Mexico. The minute that you are deemed as undesirable, nobody likes you. So anyway, I ended up this Mercedes was by I said, this is what I said. I said, look, it's a small price to pay to get fucking rid of you. And I said it's so good. I said it's so good. She got up and rah, and started smashing my mirrors in my house and smashing my lamps because she knew the time was up and she couldn't fucking ride that gravy train no more. So she rode off in the motherfucking distance. Now I always think of like this: it's not going to get her where she wants to go. It'll get her closer to it, and that's further the fuck away from me. So as you can see, it was one of those things. If you do end up getting shacked up with some girl, don't let a one-night stand turn into a 2-year nightmare. So as you can see, I've recovered from that ridiculous stuff, but a lot of things I've done for myself, to make myself better so that I don't have to ever deal with people like that again. It's that simple. This is a small price to pay. What is a car? A depreciating what? It's a liability. That chick was a liability. I mean, think about it. I have every opportunity. I was on my way to do this whole, like the tour of all of Latin America. And I could tell something was fucked up, that she was not helping me, not being productive and all that stuff. When I got my lawyer, I suddenly and soon realized that the lawyer was fucking corrupt too. And by the way, I'm going to expose his ass. He's married to an American woman that's from Texas, and he's a little Jewish boy that thinks that the Mossad is on his side, and he's got like a private security team, and if I fucked with him, then I'm dead. Whatever. I've met his little fucking team of Mossad fat asses. He has two guys that just happen to be on steroids that don't know how to diet, and they look like big bags of water, and they're supposedly like big strong men. But anyway, nobody knows how to fight, and I don't really fucking care anymore because the 2.5 years of fucking mortal hell I went through just to get what I needed to do to get where I am now. You got to realize I've been here 2 years, and the truck that got stolen, I found it and I recovered it and I put it together and I painted it and I put vinyl on it, I put reflective stickers and I put so all the things that took weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months to do has been worth it, because this person didn't have my best interest at heart, that's for sure. And you know what? I was stupid. And everybody, if you saw the girl, you would say, yeah, I'd probably do that too. Because if you're a sex addict or something like that, then you need to have sex all the time. And I would suggest that if you probably want to get married. That way you're not getting sick or something like that. Get some kind of venereal disease. Don't fuck with that shit. Anyway, guys, I could go into the depths of this girl's information, but what good is that going to? I'm not going to promote this person. This person was lower than me, quite frankly. They weren't on my level at all. They were not from the same socioeconomic class. She was Americanized cholo, basically, had tattoos, had kids living with her ex-husband who look nothing like. I'm almost 100% guaranteed that that chick had committed paternity fraud on that man. So as you can see, every aspect of the devil came at me, and I suddenly realized I got to remember something. I am a born-again Christian, and I'm living in total sin, and I'm living like an idiot with another idiot who doesn't even believe in God and was clear about it. Didn't approve, didn't want me around friends, didn't want me around people. It got to the point where if I went to the park, I was cheating. If I breathed on the same street as a woman was, I was cheating. And if she saw an attractive woman, she would turn around and almost try and hit me and accuse me of staring at some girl. So you see what I'm saying? I had to literally walk around with fucking blinders on by this abusive bitch. And when she took the car, I was more than happy. Fuck off. I was pissed off. After the fact, I realized nothing is important. None of this stuff is important. It's just stuff. And this is a person that is so in love with money and stuff that when she got around a guy who had some stuff, she didn't even know how to fucking behave herself. And you've been around people like that just don't know how to act. When they're around certain people that are above them, they just act like stupid asses. Unfortunately, and fortunately for me, is that when I moved to Puebla and I had that land stolen, somebody gifted me 55 acres. If you guys have any idea how big fucking 55 acres is, it takes a long time to walk across it. Okay. And this was a person who had more land. The town that I was in was surrounded by mountains. And those mountains, those people had blueberry farms and apple farms and pears and everything else. And they felt for me because they knew what happened to me. And I had done some good things for them and so on and so forth. But they really felt for me. They said, you know what? We're getting old. We got all this land. We can't do nothing with it. I want to give some of that to you and your kids for your school. And I was like, really? That's sweet. And so they gifted me 55 acres. And so I divided that up. And now I'm sitting on 7 acres in one spot with the original family living on the land right there. And we have 20 something sheep, no horses yet, but we have over 100 apple trees, 100 pear trees, whole fields right now. No, we just plowed that. We're redoing everything now of garlic. And by the way, garlic grows in this area because it's freezing ass cold all year round in this part of Puebla. But you know what? I did it because no matter what, I didn't respond, I didn't react, I didn't do anything fucking dumb. And that's progress for me, I think, because I could have easily hunted them down and given them a hard time. But instead of doing that, I worked on myself and I stopped being dishonest with people. I stopped just the simplest stupid shit. We have this truth game, and I play this with DeBell. We go around and we tell the truth all the time. We stop. You cannot tell a lie, because what happens is if you tell the truth, you get blessings and things happen and good in your life. And the minute you tell a fucking lie, it's all reversed, and you got to recover from that. So I assume that if you're just gonna play this game, tell the truth all the time. And this way you don't ever have anyone that's capable of accusing you of anything falsely, which is precisely what this woman probably would have done if I'd stayed or if I had retaliated. Because here in Mexico, they have this thing called feminicide, which means that guys that kill their wives and girlfriends. And the feminists put it up so they make it sound like it's like a pandemic of murdered wives. So I don't know the statistics on it, but as evil as the people are here, which is true, they're fucking evil. And not all places in Mexico, but a lot of them are very fucking evil. I would have to say 70 to 80% of the people that I've met in certain areas are just plain evil. And I know that I'm a big fanboy of Mexico and everything, but it isn't Mexico that makes Mexico. It isn't the people that make Mexico, because everyone's going to try and fuck you anyway. That's why they always say, and it's a word in Spanish, they get it to chinga. They want to fuck you, and not in a good way. So anyway, the long story short is that I didn't need that Mercedes anymore. I didn't even need it to begin with. What am I gonna do? Drive around Mexico City in a fucking Mercedes and show off to people who hate you? No, I don't think so. Instead, I moved to a place where I didn't need a car and I could walk everywhere in the woods, and it was freezing cold all year round. I slept like a baby at night. And in the morning, there were just beautiful. The sun was almost not visible because we have this fog that comes up and it shoots. It looks like it's shooting out of a mountain in a plume, and then it cascades down over top of the entire region in massive, heavy-duty vapor clouds. It's amazing, you guys. If you guys want to come up, you just gotta hit that. Or just hit the chat, whatever you want. So I've been, and now that I'm saying this to you guys to, to feel bad for me of all things. It's just a car. I mean, who cares? It's just a car. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles, and I don't even fucking drive them. I ride a fucking electric bicycle every day because it's more fun than driving, and I don't need to go anywhere because this is the academy here. So if I go and I do a class in the morning, it's at 10 o'clock, it's around back. I don't need to drive there. Then I have a class at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's out key up front. I don't need to drive anywhere for that. In fact, the only reason why I even had that patrol car is so that I could go from station to station to station to station all over Mexico and go and meet guys and greet guys and, do training and stuff like that. And eventually get up to Texas and go see JJ up there and maybe do some serious fucking training and shit. So anyway, that's what you need to do. If this is what it requires, you're required, if you're going to play this game in Mexico, you need to either be ahead of the game, be 50 moves ahead, and protect your stuff at all times. Have a way to really fortify your house. Now, I showed you guys my fortification techniques as far as hinges on doors, the mica that you put on windows, and the type of glass you need in those windows that don't break, so no one can break in and steal your shit. The other thing is that having a dog is important. If you have a dog that makes noise, it's less likely that a fucking thief is going to try and break in your house because it's going to make noise and it might even bite him. So instead, they go to the house that doesn't have any dogs, that has, bad security, and they walk right the fuck in, because thieves here in Mexico are like ninjas. They are like people that break into slot machines. They're that good at breaking into people's houses. And when they rob a house, they don't just steal a couple of little stupid things and put in a bag. They take every single item out of the entire house. They rob TVs, beds. They even take the fucking light bulbs out of the fucking ceiling. I mean, I'm not kidding. They take their appliances. They take everything. And it's happened to a few people. It happened to a couple firefighters here. I remember that. But anyway, so I have had a great time since that lady left. And I don't care about, sticking my head up a woman's ass and kissing her feet or none of that shit. I mean, she was lucky to even be with me. And I'm not the fucking one that's all that, but it was better than being alone for the coronavirus lockdowns. Wouldn't you agree? I'm the professor. I hope you got a lot out of this, and I'm out.